have before me the MSI Raider GE68HX, a mouthful of a name, but a very strong contender for video editing, 3D modeling, creator work, and the build quality on it is solid. We're gonna start with build quality and usability, and then we're gonna get into the performance benchmarks later in the video. Now, first and foremost, we have a very nice aluminum top cover and bottom cover on this laptop. I really like the bottom cover. It's got some nice design elements here. We have Raider, MSI, a nice little grip here to grip the desk so your laptop doesn't slide around too much, as well as grips here on the front and the back, so that's looking really good. It is a little busy, definitely some gamer vibes going here, and the way the bottom cover fits into the side panel, you can see it meets up with the LED light here, but there's no catchy edges, so they've done a good job assembling this. And I think the LED light is one of my favorite features on this laptop. It has a 3-tiered RGB bar here on the front of the laptop, and it just looks really cool. Definitely something different compared to other gaming laptops. Now, the weight and thickness on the laptop is very reasonable. Does have a nice squared off form factor. It's a 16:10 aspect ratio display. However, it is not bright or color accurate. It comes in at 342 nits of brightness, 67% sRGB, 49% Adobe RGB, and 49% DCI-P3 at a delta E of 2.13. So probably my biggest complaint is just the quality of the display on this laptop. However, I like the aspect ratio. I like how it's mounted. It's mounted very well to the keyboard deck. It has very little screen flex. So it's really well built. They just didn't use the highest quality panel. Now, a few little touches I also like. You can see here it says MSI for the grills. Love those touches. And we'll give you a quick audio sample of the speakers here so you can hear what they sound like. Also, there's a webcam along the top bezel of the screen. Here's an audio sample so you can see and hear that. This is the webcam on the MSI Raider GE68HX, and a little sample of the audio for you as well. In regards to the battery life, I honestly expected a little bit better out of the 99.9 watt-hour battery. We get 7 hours and 55 minutes of battery life at max, and you can see it tiers down from there for the different applications. This was set at 20% screen brightness, Windows battery saver mode turned on, power efficiency mode in the battery settings. We have the quietest mode set in the MSI Command Center. And almost 8 hours is pretty good, but for a 99 watt-hour battery, I expected a little bit more. Now, looking at the keyboard, I like the keyboard. It has very quiet, medium key travel. It is a SteelSeries keyboard, but it isn't like a keyboard on the Titan where it's like the big Cherry MX keys. So if you're looking for something a little bit more desktop focused, I would check out the Titan from MSI. This is much more of an on-the-go gaming laptop keyboard, quiet, easy to use. Nice little small numpad on the right side, full-size arrow keys. They did give us a 2/3 shift key, bane to my existence, but you might be fine with that. I don't like it. But overall, a nice keyboard, really well laid out. Minus the shift key. Now the trackpad is great. No rattle, assembled very well to the chassis. Quiet, dampened click, so it's nice and quiet. It's not gonna annoy your neighbors. And of course the keyboard deck feels really nice to the touch under my fingers. It's a good presentation. I think they've done a really good job with a nice clean presentation of the components in this laptop. Now here's a quick audio sample of me using the keyboard and trackpad so you can hear what that sounds like. Another thing I like is along the front of the keyboard, you can actually see your RGB lighting. A lot of times the band is only on the back. So, I mean, like, you don't even get to enjoy it. Like, I just find that weird. Like, you should be able to enjoy your RGB because normally it's on the back for other people to see. And you do have RGB here on the logo for other people to see, but heck, that's my RGB. I want to see my RGB, and I get to. Going ahead and taking a look at the ports. On the left side panel, we have USB Type-C, SD card reader, and a headphone jack. Along the back side, we have our power adapter, USB-C, HDMI, and our network port. And then on the right side, we have USB Type-C and 2 USB Type-A. So really good job with the ports. I love that it has an SD card reader for any of you on-the-go photographers or video creators that are using SD cards in your cameras. Now let's talk about the upgrade path. No problems here for the upgrade path. We have 2 RAM sticks that are upgradable and 2 M.2 slots, one occupied, one unoccupied. So you're not gonna have any issues if you wanna make this laptop more powerful or have more storage. Let's go ahead and jump into the performance section of this video. We have the i9-13950HX processor, RTX 4070, 32 gigs of RAM, and a 1 terabyte SSD. And taking a look at the simulated benchmarks, we're looking at Geekbench single core, multi-core, R23 single core, and multi-core, as well as Cinebench 2024. And as you can see, especially looking at Cinebench R23, really great multi-core performance. You are not going to be disappointed with the multi-core performance of this laptop. So whether you're running multiple applications at the same time or you need multi-core performance inside of specific applications, this is a great laptop. Now with that RTX 4070, I was honestly pretty surprised we only scored a 933 inside of Blender. Ran this test multiple times. I just was not impressed with the Blender test. So take that for what it is. Now looking at Autodesk 3ds Max, Autodesk Maya, and PTC Creo, great performance, especially in Autodesk Maya with the 329, solid on par with other RTX 4070 laptops. Now SolidWorks, like other laptops that use GeForce GPUs, is okay. If you want a really strong SolidWorks laptop, either get a Radeon RX GPU, like the RX 6700S inside of the Asus Republic of Gamers Zephyrus G14, or you get a workstation GPU like the RTX A2000, A3000, or A5000 from NVIDIA. Those laptops tend to be a bit more expensive. However, they are going to have the performance you need for SolidWorks. They are certified SolidWorks GPUs, the NVIDIA workstation GPUs. Now looking at Photoshop, no problems in Photoshop. 1328 for the Photoshop benchmark. Very helpful with the CPU and the RAM. Photoshop loves RAM, and those 32 gigs of RAM are being used very well. Now looking at After Effects, 1,134, an incredible score for After Effects. One of the best After Effects laptops I've seen in quite a while on my channel. Looking at the export times, let's check out Premiere Pro. Take a 9-minute 4K clip, put it into Premiere Pro, and export it out at full quality 4K settings. 2 minutes and 19 seconds. Great export time, on par with some of the best laptops I've seen for 4K video editing. And then looking at BRAW, 11 minutes and 48 seconds for BRAW 6K footage. And then if you pull up all of the export times, you'll see that in the 6K red footage export, 7 minutes and 56 seconds. So really fast export times out of this laptop. Now looking at BRAW for the playback, we have 6K BRAW with 0 drop frames, 6K red footage with 682 drop frames. So really smooth playback as well. And even if you're getting into 8K footage, I went ahead and ran that test, just shy of 8,000 drop frames for 8K footage. Very impressive. In 2022, we were seeing laptops with 6K footage playback drop that amount of frames. Now remember, that's always out of 16,177 in the project. Now taking a look at DaVinci Resolve, 4 minutes and 14 seconds, a great export time from DaVinci Resolve. You will not be disappointed with this laptop and DaVinci Resolve performance. I would say my biggest complaint with this laptop is the panel. I just really didn't love the low color gamut range and the low delta E color accuracy. The brightness was okay. I really like that it's a 16:10 panel, and I think it looks really nice on this laptop. I think the interior of the laptop is one of my favorite things. It's got this nice red band, very clean grouping of the keys, great trackpad. I love the MSI badging on the speaker grills, just a really good look. And of course, we have that webcam along the top bezel. And on top of all of that, it's a nice aluminum chassis with powerful components. The battery life is something that was good, but for a 99 watt hour battery, I expected a little bit better, but you can't have everything. Links in the description if you're ready to make a purchase, or click or tap the screen here for more videos to help you with your buying decision. I'll see you in the next one.